CELPIP speaking. This is a nightmare. CELPIP speaking is the one module where everybody fails. Pretty much everybody. Getting a 9 in CELPIP speaking is so difficult. I tell people if you have a good writing, go with IELTS because IELTS writing is a little difficult, but IELTS speaking is easy. But if you have bad speaking, don't do CELPIP because CELPIP speaking will challenge you like crazy. But there are some things that you need to understand if you're attempting CELPIP. About the speaking part, essentially how you are marked. If you understand that and you understand what you're supposed to do in those specific areas, you'll be able to score well with the right attitude, with the right templates and the structures and everything. So let's get right into it. The first thing I'm going to tell you guys is about CELPIP response, the response you give to the question. This is important for some of you, not for all of you. Most people are okay with this, but some of you get distracted. So, for example, there's part 4 where you have the speaking question, what do you predict is going to happen next in this picture? So imagine it is a carnival, okay? You would predict maybe there's going to be other visitors to the carnival, maybe there's going to be more traffic, maybe there's going to be more rides, or probably someone is going to fall from a ride, something like that, something relevant to the carnival. What I've heard in answers is sometimes people saying that, well, this carnival will finish and then there will be a replacement. Maybe there will be an ice cream truck here, but it's going to get cold, so it's going to be snow and nobody's going to be there. How is that relevant to the carnival? When the question is talking about the carnival, just speak about the carnival and give your ideas relevant to the question. I would say when it's picture questions, focus on the pictures. If it's carnival, talk about that in as much detail as possible. When it's about keywords, like for example, the keywords in the question number 1 are you have to give your friend a suggestion about where to buy winter clothes. Keyword is winter clothes. Don't let your focus go away from that. So anything about winter clothes shopping, winter clothes discounts, anything about that. Keywords, remember those so your response is accurate and you're not going away from the answer. That is super important. The other thing is structure. Structure, I'm not going to say anything in detail because there's so much detail. All you got to do is type on YouTube HZ Education CELPIP speaking templates. Those are my most popular videos. In the templates, you will have the entire structure. Just go there, follow that. That's all you need for the structure. The next thing is vocabulary. Vocabulary is way more important than you think. If you just go in there, imagine you just go in there with good English, will you get a 9? No. 9 means you have flawless English, which most of us don't have, right? So you need excellent vocabulary to counteract the mistakes you would make in grammar and other areas. And honestly, if you have no mistakes, even then you might just get 8 because you don't have good vocabulary. Vocabulary takes time. So I hope you're watching this video at least a few weeks before your test because you would need a little time. I suggest every day go to that website, EnglishVocabularyExercises.com. All right, go to that website. It has amazing word lists. Learn 15 to 20 words per day. How you learn those are you pick a word, make 3 sentences per word, the more the better, and make that with every word. Do a bunch of words and repeat them as well. Don't just move on to the next words the next day. Do a little revision here and there so you make sure you remember. And also, when you're practicing writing and speaking at home, try to actually use those words that you have learned. The reason why I'm asking you to make sentences and not just learn the definition of the word is because when you make sentences, you're conditioning your mind to be able to use those words when you write or speak in CELPIP. So if you do that, you will be able to implement that in your writing and speaking. So you really need to set that time separately for vocabulary. Honestly, it's really good for CELPIP and it's also good for your life because you're going to speak English forever. The next thing is grammar. Grammar, you need a teacher so they can give you feedback. The teacher who's going to be the person who's going to check what you're doing incorrectly, and you need really proper feedback for it. If you don't want to have a teacher, you don't have time for classes, go to englishgrammar.org. englishgrammar.org, it has excellent resources for quizzes and grammar concepts. You can also download Grammarly, the app, and whenever you type anything on your writing, for example, Grammarly will point out any mistakes you're making. So that's something you can do to improve your grammar for self-assessment, but I always recommend teachers for it. And again, if you're looking for teachers, contact me in the email in the description. The next thing is the tone. So tone is important. The way I'm talking to you guys right now is supposed to be the way you guys speak in CELPIP, because what I'm doing is I'm simply speaking naturally. I have tones. I go up in volume, low on volume. Similarly, when you talk to people in CELPIP, you're talking to a friend, you're talking to your boss, etc., your tone should be adjusted accordingly. If you talk like a robot, it won't work. If you're monotone, it won't work. If you are showing excitement, enthusiasm, pitch goes up. If you're describing something, pitch is medium, normal. And if you're very sad or depressed, you're giving bad news, like what happens in part 6 in CELPIP speaking, your tone should be a little low voice, a little dramatic, a little depressed. It should adjust accordingly. Similarly, when you greet people in CELPIP, hello, how are you? Don't be monotone. So you don't want to be, hello, how are you? I understand that, whatever. Be like, hey Bob, how's it going? I heard that, and then go on. When you finish, again, that enthusiasm. All right, great talking to you. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Raise the volume, make expressions, and emphasize your tone whenever you speak in CELPIP, because you have marks for tone. Timing is the next thing. So timing means, of course, you start on time. So don't delay it. If you stall, they will know. So if the start time has started, don't wait a few seconds. Just get started. Take a deep breath. That's fine, but start right away. When you want to finish, always in practice, aim to finish 10 seconds before the finish time. Okay? 10 seconds, if you really finish 10 seconds before, that's fine. It doesn't matter. If you finish 15 seconds or more, that's a problem, but 10 seconds is okay. But what happens is you practice trying to finish 10 seconds before the end time. In the exam, usually you would finish 5 seconds before. Things change in the exam. There's a different environment, and you're not in control sometimes. So just aim at 10 seconds before the finish time you finish. So eventually you will finish very close to the actual finish time. If you are not finished when the time runs out, you will lose marks. So make sure you take care of timing. It is just as important as other things. Now, the next thing is pauses and connectors. When you're speaking, you don't want to go on and on and on. For example, I suggest you go to the gym and you lose some weight and you read a book, and no, you need conjunctions. So you need conjunctions like furthermore, likewise, moreover. Formal conjunctions. If you want informal conjunctions, plus, similarly, also. Okay? There is a whole list of it. There are a lot of conjunctions. Again, type on YouTube, HZ Education conjunctions lesson. You will get all the resources there. But apart from conjunctions, you can also pause. You can also take a breath between points. You don't have to always use conjunctions. Just pause for a while, breathe, just like you do in real conversations. Because if you keep talking and talking, it shows you're not confident, you're nervous, and you will lose points for that as well. Pauses and connectors are important. Now, the range of expressions, I made this separate from vocabulary because I want to make sure you guys understand the difference of this. Vocab is important. A range of vocab is important. The more fancy words you use, the better it is. And by the way, conjunctions are a part of vocabulary. So if you use good conjunctions, you get that mark for vocab anyway. Now, a range of expressions means different descriptions, and I mostly noticed this mistake in part 3 of the picture. You have to describe the picture. So what happens is people say, on the left, I see this. On the right, I see this. On the back, I see this. How will you get a 9 point with that? There is no range of expression. So what you want to do is use adjectives, qualities, and sometimes adverbs like the lees, nicely, greatly, badly, terribly. For example, I would say, on the right-hand side, I see this kid trying to play with the dolphin, and he looks very ecstatic, which means happy. However, so conjunction, however, towards the background, we can see two people, I believe that's a couple, fighting or arguing very loudly. Now that is lee, that's the adverb, loudly, and that loud voice is probably being a disturbance for everybody around. So you don't just say, I see two people fighting. You describe the whole condition. That gives you the chance to use expressions. It gives you more detail, and with the range of expressions, angry people here, happy guy here, moderate people there, and all these things happening, you have a range of expressions which gives you different sentences, different ways to express things, describing their qualities, using adjectives and adverbs. That gives you more marks. Okay, The last thing I'm going to tell you guys is something that is a human nature. So your reading and listening are checked by computers. Speaking and writing are checked by humans. Humans mark subjectively. One examiner might give you 7, one examiner might give you 9. That's why reevaluation exists, because people change their decision. Examiners can change the marks if they think differently. First impressions matter. It's just like a job interview. As I became an employer, I came to realize the truth that employers make decisions in job interviews in the first few seconds. That is so true. I can guarantee you guys that. Same thing happens in speaking. In selfless speaking, the way you open your mouth, the very first question, as soon as you open your mouth, 5-10 seconds in, the examiner knows if you're going to get a 7, 8, or 9, and whatever decision they have made there, it's going to be really hard to change their mind at that point. So make sure your first question goes phenomenal, and especially your first few seconds go phenomenal. Then again, with every question, the first few seconds are very important. So a good strategy here is, again, go on YouTube, type 8Z Education template, look at the templates. There you have everything written on how you're supposed to start, how you're supposed to finish, and the middle part as well. If you work with that, you will start and end and also do the middle part confidently without flaws and make great first impressions. But do not ignore how important that is. So I recommend always take a deep breath before you start, so you go phenomenally once you do get started. And that's it, guys. If you find value in this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I'll talk to you guys very soon, and good luck with your exams. Take care.